Yay! I got in this time. I don't know why that sometimes it doesn't let you come in the first time you ask. I guess I'm not saying, Mother, may I? I don't know. Hello, everybody. So good to see you. Can Yes, I saw that Debbie was taking time to finish her chicken soup. So that is wonderful. It's a good chicken soup kind of day. Some days my hair kind of does weird things. So we just ignore that today. But hello, let's see who's here. I hope you got my message. I forgot to hit the done button. So I'm not sure it really came up that I was going to be here at 3:30. So I apologize if you came at 3. I came downstairs and realized I'm not ready. And then I thought, oh gosh, I'm not sure I can handle trying to rush to get ready earlier. So anyway, I'm here now and I apologize if you had to wait at all. But I'm kind of, it's surprising it's already February. It's like I'm supposed to be decorating. I should have already decorated for Valentine's Day. And whoa, I'm not ready. So let's see what we can find. We have, Charlene came in super early. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, I put a notice on our group, and then I thought I changed it on here, but I don't think I clicked the done button. That's what kind of gets me. I go up through these steps and then fail to finish the last step. So hello, everybody. And Debbie is here, and Barbara Smith, and Jody's here. Hello, sweetie. Alberta Powell is here. Kathy Klein is here. Laura, hi, sweetie. Sonia, there's my Sonia. And Marcia, it is, Midland's back. Now, Midland, I've seen you several times. So if you would like to join our group, we have a groups.io site, so we can chat and post pictures and all of that. And if you'd like to join that, send me an email to OurTimeToQuilt at twcc.com. Okay, there we go. So there is my email address, and if you can send pictures to that email address that I can include on our Sundays. You can send me requests to join our group. We had 2 members the other day, new members. So we have a big group, about 90 people, I think. And that way you have a place to post your pictures, to ask questions. Oh, great. And then you could also let me know if I'm saying your name wrong, because I hate saying people's names wrong. And I'm always so happy to see everyone here. So, hello, Kathleen Ziegler. It is so good to see you. How is it? How are things out in Washington State? So, today we're going to work on a Valentine's project. I know I'm supposed to be working on my UFOs. Oh, Charlene Lawson, you're a doll baby. Thank you so much. Got some pretty pictures from Miss Charlene. But today I'm going to finally show you that antique quilt I've told you about. It's probably about 140 years old. And when I found out it was in too poor condition to really be of any value, I went ahead and washed it. And I know that's a big no-no, but it had so much dirt and dust. These were found out in a chicken coop, I think. And I noticed that it just made my allergies go. So I went ahead and washed it, which caused more damage. That's why people, try not to wash these things. But I said, I can't live with it at all if I don't wash it. So there I did. There's Pat. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, you're welcome for the pattern. If anyone wants any of my free patterns, because this is my latest, although I have a scrappy pattern, and I keep forgetting. I don't even think I brought it down. I keep forgetting to show it to you, but I'll offer that for you too. So here is the latest landscape quilt pattern, and we're going to work on how to create realistic snow. So we're going to try to see what colors do you use to make snow look real. It's a cabin in the woods in a snowy day. So if you want this pattern, it is free. Just send me an email at the email address I put up, and I will email it to you. So, but I'm excited about that. I'm hoping this week we can get some of the big colors blocked in. And that's so important. And then it's all the little touches. And if you have ink tints or fabric paints that you can thin out to a wash like a watercolor, or even if you just have regular colored pencils, that is going to be fine. I don't wash my landscape quilts. I don't wash my art quilts. So I don't care what kind of embellishment I use on them. So there is Miss Carol. Boy, went to see her show yesterday, and she's doing really, really well. And it's pretty exciting. She has this wide audience, too. I was amazed. And one of the gentlemen that pops in and says hello, I went to his site. I thought, now that's a true wilderness man. So he was a modern-day Jeremiah Johnson. So it was a lot of fun. What were the names of the colored pencils and metallic paint? Ooh, yes. Okay. The metallic paint, hold on, I'm going to have to bring up the colored pencils and they also have blocks like pastels. If you've ever used pastels in little blocks, that's an easy one. Ink, tints, and it's fabric dye. Well, ink tints, dye, pencils, and they have, whoops, hold on, they have pencils and blocks. So blocks are good if you want to cover a larger area. You can kind of make a little dye pot of it. And then the pencils you have to mostly color in, and then it blooms when you put a medium on it. So, whoops, they have pencils and blocks, but I think I would start with the pencils first. They're expensive. I'm going to tell you, they've only gone up with all the shipping, you know, all that. But yes, Derwent. Thank you, Magic. Thank you. So far as my paints, I'm going to have to bring up, I'll tell you one kind of metallic paints. Oh, yes, Miss Sonia, you'll have to watch the end. I was thinking about that. Am I going to talk about that again today? I'm not sure I'm able to. Hi, Miss Nikki, sweetheart. I choked up really bad Thursday night. At the end of my Thursday night art quilt show, I talked about it, and it was very emotional. She's been a big part of my life for 20 years, more than that, 25 years. So it's an emotional thing. And oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Oh yeah, because Susan Smith would know. Oh my gosh, yes, Susan. Gotta love that, Susan. Oh my gosh, Susan just gave you this Amazon link to the very product. Yay, between Susan and Carol, we got it covered now, boy. I'll tell you. Oh, thank you so much. That's wonderful. Thank you. So, and those are the metallic paints that I love. And they go a long way. But I just always like to warn people, these are not, both of these items, I bought my ink tints probably 7 years ago, and they're closer to new than used up. So it's an investment, but it's a worthwhile investment. So, and Susan, how are your metallic paints doing? Susan, I think, got hers in recently. And the metallic paints are so much fun. I can't wait to get another project ready. So, I've got the antique quilt to show you. Here is this big quilt that I was working on at Myrtle Beach Quilt Party. It's a bear. Okay, it shouldn't be as hard as it is, but I try to work. It's so cold downstairs. And this is where I have the table space to lay things out. Upstairs, I just have this little desk. And for ironing, I just have a little tray table that I use a miniature iron on. This morning, I got up at 10 o'clock, early for me, and got up and started working on that because I wanted to have it done for y'all today. Well, I told you it's big. It's going to finish out at 84-inch square. Bonnie's here. Oh, yay, Bonnie. It's so good. In fact, Bonnie, do you see what's on top up there? It has a heart and hands in it, and I put it up for our Valentine's Day. I normally keep it right over there on the fireplace, and I thought I'd bring it a little closer for Miss Bonnie. So it is what Teresa Djukovic is here. Boy, we're having a great party today. So Miss Bonnie, oh my gosh, Miss Bonnie goes back to almost the very beginning of this show. So we just love her to death. She really help make this show work. So we love her to death. We hope her eyes are getting better. And Nikki, it is such a dear to see you. So I've also, besides showing you that in an antique quilt, I know what I was saying. I was up this morning working on this puppy. Almost every single seam that I sewed together, I had to rip out and do again. I was furious. It was like, finally, I stopped what I was doing and went and made myself a bowl of oatmeal so I could calm down. But it made me crazy. You have to have your glasses on. Oh, honey. That is frustrating. I am so sorry. But poor Bonnie, she had an eye infection and she's having to use steroids and all this. Sweetheart, we hope that your eyes get better soon. You love the pink and teal. Yes, those solids are Tula pink solids that I found. I forget where I ordered them now. And oh my gosh, they're beautiful. And they almost have a slight shimmer to them, but they're just a real high quality solids. And so then I picked the rest of the colors to match. You're supposed to have light and dark. But I have torn out so many seams. It's not funny. So this one, I was supposed to try to sew. But, if you have the right space and you're set up and you work from beginning to end, you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be that hard. But I'm going to tell you again, you're working on a pink project. I'm going to tell you again, Susan even did the ink tins pencils. Be still my heart. I'm in love. So, but I'm going to tell you again, I'm not that good at traditional piecing. I have a real hard time making everything meet and match and all of that. And so I just pulled out. That's why I think it took me 25 years to discover I was really an art quilter. I don't always jump on a new thing right away. Took me long enough to realize, but I think I love art quilts because I want to be creative, but making things match, oh my gosh, it's too much like math. My brain doesn't work that way. So that's why when I tell you, you did a beautiful job piecing something, I mean it. So you have the metallic paints and the fabric medium. Okay. So Susan's getting close. Susan, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. It is addictive. There's something about those metallic paints that are so pretty and the gleam in them. And it's exciting. All right. So I wish I could show you more for that quilt, but it's a wonderful quilt. I just wish it makes me wish I were a better quilter. And I was looking to see if, I should have the paper pattern up here. But when I came up here, I've kind of scattered things. Let me see. And let me get my antique quilt to show you. One of the things is I still haven't cleaned this room up. I don't know what I did with the pattern booklet. But it is called Windswept. I know that as soon as I get off the show, I'll find it. But if you could see the... Okay, I'll show you. You know, I always show you my bad stuff. Look at this table. Look at this. From one end to the other. Look at over there. I didn't even finish getting the room clean. And it's turning into a mess. Oh, and while I'm showing you all of this, look at this countertop over there. Look it up there. I mean, when stuff starts to get 3 feet high, don't you think it's time to clean? I keep promising y'all a video of how I clean my room. I never give you one because I never quite finish cleaning. I get it cleaned up half the way. What's in my big cup of water? Just water. I'm really trying to get back on the weight loss program. And so water it is. If I had my druthers, it'd be a Coca-Cola. But that's not good for a Deb. All right. So here is the antique quilt. This was made, in fact, it's so neat. I now live in Winston-Salem, which is next door to Alamance County, which is where Greensboro is. And some of the fabric she found in this, she said was from Alamance County. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a everything come back to a big circle. And it's a log cabin quilt. And it doesn't have any batting as we know of in it. It has old clothing as the insides. And oops. Oh, okay, sweetie. I'm sorry, Miss Bonnie. It was so good to see you. You made our day, Miss Bonnie. So this quilt was a utilitarian quilt. And you can see some of the colors like this red. Let me show you. Some of the colors like this red. They were used with a mordant. A mordant is a chemical that sets the color, but this mordant breaks the fabric down over time. So some of the fabrics that were used in here, like this was probably a green originally, and the mordants used in the old greens just flake away. Now, let me see if I can find, there is some Civil War fabric in here. And here it is, right here. This fabric right here is from the Civil War time. So that's the oldest fabric in the bunch. Then it has fabrics. When you date a quilt, you date it by the newest fabric that's in it, not the oldest. You can make note of the oldest fabric. Oh, see, I'm getting ready to sneeze. And part of the problem is I ran out of my Claritin, had to get more, and I haven't taken it yet. So, but anyway, but you notice that around the end of the 1800s, they used a lot of plaids, some homespuns, but just pretty much whatever they had. And let me show you, when I was telling you that in the inside they didn't have batting. They used former garments. Do you see that it's stuffed with old dresses and shirts? And look at this one. This is a shirting right here. So that's what this was made with. So this was made as they needed a blanket to stay warm. And it shows it was used very heavily. But I love the shirting fabrics especially. I don't know what it is, but shirting fabrics are my favorite. So, and then here is the backing. It's a very coarsely woven fabric. They call this like a homespun because it is very coarse. So, but it's really neat to see all the little bits of different fabrics they used to give this quilt some weight and warmth. So this is my antique quilt. It's the only one I have. It was given to me by wonderful Bill Hyatt. And it was from a family down in North Carolina, closer to the Great Dismal Swamp. So that'll give you an idea. It was hand quilted in diagonal the whole width, except in the corners they changed direction with the diagonal. So that makes it kind of, I'm sure there's a carbon dating for fabrics, and I'm sure they do it for the truly ancient. But this is a sweet quilt to own. It's very, very heavy. It's a very sweet quilt. I don't even think it has enough good areas to be able to display it. It's kind of one of those things where it's very sweet and sentimental, but of no monetary value. And I even asked my appraiser if there was anything from it that she could use in her presentations, because she does a lot of historical presentations. And she said, not really. So I brought it back home. I just felt a little layer of dust on the table. And it was very, very well used. So it does not have a label or a name on it, but I do know the family. And I know the family. I don't even remember, right off the top of my head, I don't remember, but they are from northeastern North Carolina. And so it's a real sweet thing. I've got to admit. All right, so you've seen my quilt that I had a terrible time with, and I actually did a little bit of shopping. Well, I did more shopping. When Jenny Byer's retiring, and I don't want to talk about it too much today because it gets me very emotional. She really deserves to retire. She just turned 80 years old last summer. It's time for her. She lost her husband a couple of years ago. And, it's demanding running your own business. So she said the pandemic's given her time to think. And it's like, she wants to make some quilts for herself. She wants to travel some more. So, but Thursday I talked about what she means to me. So if you want to see my opinions on that, it's at the end of my Art Quilt Thursday live stream the other day. So now, but I did do some ordering. I wanted to buy everything there because it's like, now she's got a couple fabric lines still to come out, and that, thank goodness. But they'll just go to regular stores. I won't be able to order it from her. And so I kind of got a little bit like, this is my last Jenny Byer, but it's not really. But I did put in a good size order, but I cut it down over half because I was, it's like, Deb, you made a promise to yourself not to buy fabric unless you were sure that you could end up using it up. Because as we know, if you leave fabric around and you're gone, it might end up in a dumpster. And we don't want that to happen. Did I show y'all the bigger perfect circles last week? I might have. These are Kay Buckley's, and I love them. I think I did, so I won't worry about that. But and I haven't gotten any further progress done on my Alex Anderson hand embroidery, but I will. I did take my other pearl cottons, and because they come in a hank, and by the time you untwist them, you have to take the paper off. It's sad because you can't get it out, otherwise it tangles. You have to take the cute little papers off. And so I said, I know what to do with that cereal box. So I made myself some little winders and wound it all. Now it's much easier to use. So, and I won't keep it on these. This kind of cardboard has lots of acid in it. It's very cheaply made. This, I know I'll use it up. It will not be stored on these. Normally, you notice you get white little things you wind cards. They're archival. So, but I did put an order in with Michaels and picked it up this week. I knew I was using the pearl cotton so fast. I ordered this. Now they didn't have the white one in, so I ended up getting a ball of the pearl cotton in white. And I noticed it's slightly thinner than this, but I don't think it's going to matter. So I got more of that. That's what I got. Then I had first bought embroidery needles that were 3-5 in size. Well, the smaller the number, the bigger the needle, because I was having a mess of a time getting the pearl cotton to go into the needle. So this time I bought 1-5. So that means size 1 through size 5, and they are bigger with a bigger hole. So remember, when you get needles, the smaller the number, the bigger the needle. And that's counterintuitive, but that means a size 9 needle is larger than an 11. Am I right? Let me see what. Susan uses 5s. Okay. And so this time I said, get me the 1s. So with needles, it runs opposite of what you think. The bigger needle has a smaller number. Then, just for fun, because they had a sale, I picked up a bag of inexpensive variegated D&C flock. And because I love making these Dorset buttons, and so I'll show you, I made one with this color, and last night I did this one. Aren't they cute? And I'd like to learn. It'd be nice to know where I could expect the color to go. So I might want to work on that. I wish the outside ring was the same color, but they're so much fun. And you just sit there and whoop. So one of these, I made one a night, and I said, well, I'd like to show them again, because not everybody that's here saw me do a Dorset button. And you probably think, what are you going to do with those Dorset buttons? Well, now that I'm thinking of making a scroll with Miss Carol, I'm thinking, I could use Dorset buttons to decorate the scroll. My daughters are knitters, so I'll say, if you're doing a sweater or a shawl and you want a button for it, let me make you one. What colors do you want? I'm going to turn them into necklaces, maybe little earrings, and brooches. But it's just something I enjoy to do. It doesn't have to have a reason except to make me happy. How you like that? So here is, let me bring this down, and I'm going to show you. Okay. So here is the ring, and I like these black plastic rings. I get them from a lady on Etsy, and the reason I like these instead of the white ones, number one, it doesn't show through. The white ones can show through. So what I do, okay, I hold it this way. Now I'm left-handed. So, but since I'm doing it like as if you're sitting across from me, it should look more normal for right-handed people. All right, come on. Oh, and just anybody, in case you wanted to know, our fire is out and we had no explosion. Thank goodness. And I think Mark said it was 600 tons of nitrogen that could have gone up. So I'm so glad. Our fireman, our fire chief, deserves the world of credit. When he finally realized that the most danger was over, and a national inspector came in and said he did everything right, he got all emotional. What a dear man. But he did. He kept us safe. All right. So here's the ring. And you look on Etsy for plastic rings and look for these black ones. I wish you could see, whoops, see how it's not perfectly shiny? It's like got micro, oh, thank you, Miss Susan. Oh, look at Susan. She just said, show it again. Yeah. So anyway, these rings are wonderful because they've got a little bit of a rough texture and it holds the yarn. I wish I had redone my fingernails. I am going to apologize. I am not, I'm always crafting. I don't worry about my nails, but it's rude when you go on camera and you haven't taken good care of your nails. But do you see what I'm doing here? And if I start this, I would suggest if you're beginning, just do a small knot, make a loop knot round. And when you get better at it, you can hold the little tail and do these, what do you call these? Like an overhand, and it holds them in. Okay. Yes, it has a matte finish, not a shiny finish. And it's a little bit pebbly, very delicate. All right. So what I do is I've got this thread over the outside of my hand. I come in with the needle underneath and then pull it, and see how it does, kind of like a buttonhole stitch, overcast. There you go. So, and then pull it tight. Okay. And so you do this over and over until you get the whole thing covered. Okay. Now I did most of it this morning so that I could show you. But when you've done it, when you do it a few times, you get pretty fast. And now, some people, in fact, I think the traditional way of doing this Dorset button was, see this little ridge that develops when you do it? A lot of people turn that to the inside. But honestly, like a detached buttonhole stitch. Yeah. Honestly, I like that little ridge around the outside. Now, if I wanted to use beads and make this fancy, then every time after I do this little knot, I would put a bead on. What am I going to use it for? Probably I'll make brooches. I'm making so many now that I need to go ahead and get that Etsy shop going and sell these just so I can keep doing more, because I've got a whole box of them upstairs that I've done. And, but this one, I might put a metallic bead in the center, but you can put the beads on as you're making these knots that go around the outside. But you see, it's pretty fast because as long as you're holding it the right way, it makes that little, some of you, if you've done either knitting or crochet, you've done this before to get your little stitches on the needle. So you just go around like this. The name Dorset button comes from Dorset, England, where back before we had plastic, they had to have buttons for shirts and things, sweaters, and the only button sources, you could have shell buttons, horn buttons, metal buttons, but they were expensive. So what the women did, the families, even fishermen, when they were off season, if there was one, they would sit and make these buttons, and they made them smaller. You can get smaller loops. And these would actually, I had a sweater as a child that I now realize had the sweet Dorset buttons. So now I've filled up the whole ring. It is nice and tight. You can't see everything as well because, let me pull over my light, because the black maybe doesn't show up as well. But I've gotten it all filled in. So now that I've finished that part, I take and run the needle over the first side where I first started. That way it joins the circle together. So you have now a fully joined circle of the threads, okay? Oh, yeah, it reminds you of that, doesn't it? Okay, so, oh, yeah, you could use them for just about anything, and the rings are not expensive. So what I do now, it's connected right here. I bring it behind, down, and over. I make a loop. Then I come just slightly to the side and go slightly to that side, trying to keep it pretty even I go around and around. And I keep that tension on it, okay? And keep doing this, trying to keep it pretty even. Keep it snug. It's important to keep it pretty even because that way when you end it, it won't end up strange. So now I've got all of the spokes on it. So I hold it carefully so we don't lose the tension, because if I were to drop it right now, they would just all fall off. So what I'm going to do to keep them in place, let me put something white behind here so you can, there, now you can see it better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is my threads on this side. So I'm going to come up in here on this side with the needle. Then go back down to the side right where I was and pull it tight. What I'm doing, whoops, it's okay now though because I already made that stitch. Thank goodness for that stitch. All right, so now I pulled this through. Whoops. This is one thing you have to be careful about. It's hard. That's the hardest thing for me, is keep it to the center. Okay. So to help pull this, because right now it wants to go that way, to help pull this back to the center, I'm going to come through over here, go through another group of spokes, come exactly opposite there. Now I have another stitch. And the main thing is to keep that center of the spokes truly in the center. This is something I think comes with a lot of practice because it's a hard thing for me. And I like to keep that ridge all around. Don't let that move. But see, right now it wants to be a little off center. So just work on pulling it back down. And what you're doing is you're just making sure, like, see right here, the little thread, some of the threads, see how you can kind of like see between them? Sometimes, like right here, it needs to be defined. So go back down in there. Whoops. Hold on. I didn't realize I was already down. Okay. So, whoops. Okay. I'm going to try to move this. Those loops I've made, I'm trying to move them back to the center. So now this is a little undefined. So what I mean is it's not a clear spoke. So I'm going to come up through this one. So I just do this 3 to 4 times to kind of bring a good spoke in the middle of a little center for that. Okay. So I've done that about 3 or 4 times. Oh, yeah. Dorset buttons were very common. But when the Industrial Revolution came along, that's when the industry kind of dried up. But a lot of families were kept alive with the money made from the women and girls, mostly women and girls that did these buttons. All right, so now I've gotten the spokes all centered with 3 knots that do a good job. So now what I do, let me find an area where I think you can see well. I thought the black would show up, but you know, it's kind of dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come up in between the spokes and make sure you come right into space. Don't get your needle stuck in between some of the threads. Then I come right back down. Okay, so I come up one way, go down that way. Every movement after this, it's going to work. You have an antique store has, oh, wow. Oh, wow, I love antiques. There is Monkey Mary. Hi, Mary is going to be our new moderator on Thursdays. It wasn't Mary. I'm sorry. Who was it that offered to be the moderator? Oh, Kathy Boyd. I think it was Kathy Boyd. So she'll be moderator on Thursdays. All right. So okay, here is where I came back down. So counting that space, you go 1, 2. You come up 2 spaces from where you went down, come up and go down, back down just 1 space. So what you're doing is on the bottom, you're going over 2. So here's where I went down. I'll come up 2 spaces over and then go down 1 space. Okay, so you're going down here. You're going 2 spaces to come up, but then 1 space to go back down. And I'll show you why that's important. Okay, so you always have to see which one, where is it that it went down? It's this one. So I go 1, 2, come up this one. Then go down back in the middle. Just 1 over, go back down. Then come up 2, go down 1. And don't worry, it can take a little practice. And I'm still not good at it. And I've made quite a few of these little things. But I love it. It's just it's easy. Okay, where did I go down? I went down right in the middle of these 2. So I'll come up 1, 2. Here we go. 2 spaces away. Come up, then go down in 1. Then come up. You see it right there is where I went down. So go 1, 2. Come up 2 over. And then go back 1. So, and what you end up doing, I'm not sure you're not going to be able to see it yet. This black was an unfortunate color. I thought, oh, this will show up good on the camera. I know what I can show you. Ones I've already done. You'll see how the front, the ribs become, and this is, these ribs are where I did a circle around it. Oh, no problem, Mary. I just got the name confused. Sorry, honey. But here I put a bead in the center, but you see how the rib is of it, let's call it ribs, is very accentuated? Well, look what the stitch does on the back of it. It makes a nice flat bed, and that's because you go 2 on the bottom, but just 1 on the front. And there you go. You're weaving the ribs, and that way you get a solid button. Isn't that neat? But I love these, and they're just so much fun. So I can turn it into a necklace or a brooch, or it could even, if I do them small enough, it could be earrings. They're just sweet. And I'll probably use them on some of my art quilts. Anywhere you might use a regular button. So it went down here. It'll come back up here. And you just keep doing this. Now, let's say I run out of thread, because I will. I know this is not a long enough piece. Then all I will do is take the needle out of the thread, tie a new piece of thread to it, then put the needle on the new piece and keep going. And when I tie the knot, do one of the knots where you go around once and around twice, because that way it'll really tie nice. Exactly. The spot in the back is where I put, and I think do I have any? Oh, they're upstairs, I think. But yeah, I have the little pen backs that I sew onto the back there. And also, if you were to make it like a button, you just would sew down through here and secure it in place. Now, this is my favorite size to work with. You can get them larger and you can get them smaller. But that's just fun. And I just thought I would show you again how easy it is to do it. There are wonderful YouTube videos out there with all kinds, and there's all different kinds of ways, different kinds of weaving. I've got some upstairs where I've done little flower arrangements on the front, and so but I just wanted to show you how interesting. And see, and as I go round and around, because it's variegated thread, it'll create different patterns. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. You know what? That's a great way to think of it. And if you stop and think about it, it's an amazing thing we do, because whether it's basket weaving, whether it's knitting, whether it's crocheting, whether it's weaving fabric, we're taking string and turning it into something very usable. So that's a pretty cool thing. And I'm very, very much in favor of keeping the old hand art going. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, I love the Steam-A-Seam 2 in Pages. Makes it so easy to create. All right, I wanted to do something artistic with you today. And Valentine's Day is coming. So here's the pattern. I'm so silly. I had already stuck it over here. This is the pattern of the quilt. Whoops, right there. And here it is, Windswept by On Williams Street. You can find it on Etsy. And I always like to show you where I get stuff if I can. So now what I'm thinking of doing is I cut a white piece of fabric, and I love white on white. This is snowballs or bubbles. And then I took and cut some Steam-A-Seam, whatever fusible you like to use. And on this piece of white fabric, I took pencil and I drew a great big lopsided heart. And I saw this somewhere online. As far as I know, it didn't have a pattern, but I said, I'll just make a pattern. So let me grab my chalk. Hold on one second. I need something that shows up good on white. Blue. I love this Taylor's chalk. So what I'm going to do, let me bring up, hold on one second. Let me bring it up just to look at it again. I'll show you. This is what I found that I want to work on. Whoops, let's see. Do you see this? I thought that was so cute. So that's what we're going to get ready. Hopefully let me make sure I didn't lose y'all when I yanked on that. Everyone's still there, hopefully. What did I hold on. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to show you, I sat and thought about it, or as the Grinch says, I puzzled over it and said, I can make this. So I put the Steam-A-Seam 2 on the back of the fabric, and then they all go in order. They're going to be lighter on the outside, then getting darker in the middle. Whoops, this is in the middle. This goes there. This goes there. This is in the middle. What am I missing one? I am missing a piece of fabric. Let me see. These are the middle. I'm missing one that goes right here. Well, shoot. I probably knocked it on the floor. Like I say, I'll find it as soon as I'm off air. But, okay. Well, we'll start on this side of the heart. So what I want to do now, let me draw over where I already drew this heart to show you. I want you to be able to see it. Okay. And it's a slightly lopsided heart just because it's kind of nice sometimes to do something a little different. All right, so you're going to leave a line down the middle here. A line down the middle. And then you're going to have lines like this that go across. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm going to have 4. So let me go back down here to the middle. Okay. All right, so 4 there. And now, and these go up. So pay attention to this part. This goes up. And this goes up 3, 4. Okay, so do you see that? Let me make sure you're still there. Like white dots in the snow, exactly. So now I want to keep this pretty even. Oops. Let me bring this over here. I don't want it to go off too short. Okay. I'm wondering if I can take and lay it over, since it is chalk. Can I lay it to this part right here? Oh, it's kind of tough. I don't think it's going to work. Since I made it lopsided, it won't work. You saw something dark under the white fabric? Oh, like maybe the other. It's going to be here somewhere because I know I made it. All right, so on this, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to copy where I did the lines and just put a mark so that I can come along 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Let me see. So I'm going to come here and do an arc this way, an arc this way. Whoops, this one needs to be a little puffier. Let me get a tissue here. It needs to go up just a little bit more and then come down. Okay, and then this one. And they don't have to be perfect. They should definitely line up here. But I think it's what you have your pattern sitting on. Ah, I wonder. I'll see. Yeah, oh, okay, I got you, what you're saying. Okay, so then this one comes here. Okay, then let's start here at the bottom. And you know what? You're right. I can't do... These lines are wrong down here because, let me go back to my photo. And I love the way this photo looks, so I'm trying to use, best of my knowledge, use the same technique. So this one is actually going to go up to about here. There we go. This one is going to go up to about here. Then this one to about here. And this one to about there. Okay, so here is what I have. Let me see if it shows up on your screen. Okay, so here is what I have. And let me look at it again to make sure I think it's close enough. Nope, I have one problem right here. This doesn't quite come up and over enough. Let me go up. And there we go. All right, so if that goes up a little bit, then this one needs to. Now, I'm going to show you why I'm drawing these lines. Okay, let me see. This one, oops, yeah. This one needs to go. All right, so this needs to go up here. Then this one needs to go up here. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The nice thing about doing the hearts a little bit cattywampus, oh yeah, does Jody have her power back? I hope so. All right, so now we've got the lines going up this way. Now we have to make the lines going up and down. This might seem hard, but it's really, really not. Okay, so here I've got it. So you've got the center of the heart right here. So, whoops. Let me try to get a straight line here. Let me see if there we go. I'll use the side of this as the straight line. Ooh, goodness gracious. Okay, so here is the straight line. All right, now I've got to come in here and do straight lines down. So there's one there. Then the second one gets a little bit wider up here, kind of comes out a little bit, and then comes in. That's two. Whoops. Comes out a little bit. And then the next one is going to come here. And then the final. All right, so what now that you've got these lines, and I wanted to use a chalk that will come off pretty easily because that's going to be the white part in between the color. Okay, so bring this back down. I want to, when you wipe off some lines, it takes off others too. So now, this one didn't go out quite enough. It leaves it too big here. So let me do, hold on, doing a little erasing here. I didn't quite have it right. All right. Let me bring this one back over this way a little. Then the next one will come this way. See how they curve everything the way, what I love about this is the way it curves, because it really gives the feeling of a heart shape, a three-dimensional heart shape. Whoops. Try this again. Come up to here, then. All right. All right, so now what we're going to do, and once we get that, let's look at our first piece on the outside. All right, I'm going to give it a fresh cut like this. And then I'm going to look at where I'm going to place it. And remember, these are chalk lines, so you don't have to be perfect. So I'm going to take this piece and, oops, let me move some of this off. So this piece is going to go over here. Let me make sure I kind of dribble off at the edge. And the fun thing about this is you don't have to be perfect, because the grid is going to leave by the end of it. The white chalk will be wiped off. This piece is going to go, whoops, I see that I need to cut it more. But see how the Steamosine 2 is sticky? Okay, this front part needs to be curved. But this is something I can take upstairs and work on in the evening. And, okay. Now I'll put this piece here. Okay, so see that? Now, I have two different colors, so I can change them in and out if I wish to. So if I were to make this one the next, I know I need to leave a space in between. So I'll put this here. All right. This one gets wider. All right, then I'll tear off the paper. And there we go. Here comes the next piece. Okay. So do you see what I'm doing here? I didn't want to go as light as I didn't want to go as light as the other pattern. I might do another one of this. Let me see. I don't know whether to do every other one, so I might do a few of this. So this one, and you can do this any way you want. It actually, I'm going to try to make them line up reasonably well, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. All right, so then let's come in here. These are the two outside pieces. The next color are going to be, let's see, okay. The next color, no, it's going to be a lighter one. Okay, this one. All right, whoops. The camera sunk into the distance here. Okay. All right. So this, the next one would come over here. So I'm going to, actually it would look better this way. I'm going to cut like this. Tear off the paper on the back. And here we go. Okay. This one needs to be this way a little. Because see, I want to maintain that shape so that you get a 3D effect. Okay. So there is the next one. See what I'm doing? So I'll do one more. I think this. I'll do another one. Okay, this is going to go here. I will cut into this side to go with that shape. And then, let's see, it's too long, so I'll cut it a little shorter. Let me move this one. The nicest thing I like about using Steam-A-Seam is I can move the things when I realize I've got something a little off. And like this corner is sticks out a little too far. All right. Let me come off of this one. All right. This is going to work. So then let's say, how do I get off that paper? If you kind of act like you're going to tear the fabric, the paper will tear, then you pull it off. So now I'm going to fit this one in like that. There we go. So now you can see how you're going to continue and why you have the chalk lines, because they will give you a very good guideline to go by so that you have everything lined up and matched right. Okay, so this is how this is going to go. And now I want to take you to go see the photos you have shared with me this week. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I will iron these on when I'm sure I've got them where I want them. Then I'm going to do some quilting. And I don't think I'm going to sew around all those shapes like I normally do. I think what I'll do is just kind of come in here and reinforce the lines between the different colors. You see what? So I think that's going to be a very fun project. And as usual, I'll show it to you next week. I should have it finished. I might, you know what? I can go up and put this on a lap desk and watch a movie and finish it. Those are the projects I love. Oh, I wasn't using a damp cloth. I was just using a tissue. So, bye-bye, Miss Nikki. Thank her for showing up. She's such a doll baby. So let me just hold this up real quick so you can see how it's going to work. And I think it will be really cute. And when we go to look at your photos, I'm going to show you again the picture of it. And in fact, I'll put one on our website so that if you want to make this, you'll have what you need. All right. This screen is little. Let me make it bigger. All right. I'm not sure why it's up like this. There we go. I had to drag it down. Now that wasn't too hard. All right, let's do some of your photos. Okay. Here we go. All right. Here we go. I love the photos you've been sending. Oh, here we go. One more time. This is the heart I'm making. I love the way they echo quilted. I love it. Now, what they did so far as the quilting on the actual piece is kind of did a box shape down the center, this vertically, and then horizontally in each of the shapes. So that might be something good to do, but I love the echo quilting. I think it's really going to pop. And as you see, it doesn't have to be perfect because you can see that is a heart. And I thought that would be real cute for y'all. All right, so I will put it on our site. Do not worry. Since I'm right here, I thought I would show you one thing. When you have a fire and you get some air pollution in the area, it's amazing the sunsets you get when it finally, this was after the smoke had stopped. And let me see. Whoops, and that's cute too. But oh, here we go. Now, hopefully you can't hear me talking because I came out on the porch. Mark was taking this, and I came out on the porch. But anyway, isn't that beautiful? That just inspires me. I immediately want to get my fabrics out and recreate that. But, you know, air pollution makes beautiful colors. But that is so beautiful. I think, you know, when you find nature that beautiful, it brings out the artist in everyone. But isn't that sweet? Thank you, Mark, for that beautiful sunset. That just lights up my imagination. All right. Thank you, Mark. All right, now let's go to your photos. That's all I had this week, too, so that's all you'll be seeing from me. All right, Alexis. I told her the other night, we have been looking at her stuff every week. Just love her embroidery. I think she does the smoothest satin stitching I've ever seen. And her little, let me go back here to the French knots. Let me enlarge this. Her French knots are beautiful, beautiful, much more uniform than I can do. And I love the beading that she did right here. Just beautiful. And the thing we love is there is something for everyone out there. Very, very nice. And Alexis, she's our young member too. So she's got a lot of good art and creating ahead of her. Miss B, I have a new thing from Miss B. I'm so excited. Look at this. this is amazing. She has now, because of the COVID crisis, she has learned to love making cards out of her fabric and out of embroidery. And this is a happy birthday card she made for someone. Isn't that just beautiful? I love all of her hand stitching along the edge. I assume that's hand stitching, but she does beautiful work. So thank you, Miss B. Oh, let me see. Somebody just wrote something good. You saw a trick on Sarah Humphreys. Take a tool to rub over your satin stitches and it makes them smooth and shiny. That's pretty cool. Did someone ask me what kind of chalk I was? Oh, okay. Okay, I didn't know because my chalk was, if anybody wants to know, it's Clover Taylor's chalk. Okay, let's see what Miss Betty. All right. I love this. This will probably be the last time to see this beautiful winter scene. Beautiful. Then look at her metallic paints. Betty's the one that gave me the idea of using metallic paints on fabric, and now I'm hooked. Look at that. So she uses fabrics and then, oh, look, see the little dots? Dot painting is very popular right now. And you know what I found is Q-tip sticks or lollipop sticks make wonderful dot painters. So remember that. All right. I think that was it for Miss Betty, but we love it. Alrighty. Now, Miss Carol, we've got a bunch of wonderful stuff to see from Miss Carol. Okay. Here we go. Oh, look at this. Isn't that wonderful? I love all of her stitches. I love her imagination. Look at all the scrap threads that she put into the work. Isn't that amazing? You know, sometimes look through your trash can, and if you've been sewing with some really pretty threads, you'll find a treasure in there. And you know, don't forget, Miss Carol is doing the magical touch. Every Saturday morning, she's teaching how to make these works of arts and hand-embroidered scrolls, journal scrolls. Wonderful. So she'll show you all the tricks to make simple items come alive and recycle items, give them a whole new life and a way to express thoughts, things you have going on. She does a wonderful Saturday morning, 9 a.m. on YouTube, Magical Touch, the studio. Isn't that beautiful? And then she paints old encyclopedia pages. I find that fascinating. Look at that. Very talented woman. Very talented. Oh, looks like she's got some metallic. This looks like a metallic paint there. That's wonderful. She made her nice, beautiful crocheted lace. That's beautiful. I guess it's crocheted. I'm not sure if she did a bobbin with that or what. But look at her Alex Anderson. Oh, my gosh. I hope she won't mind because I think I'm going to use some of her interesting stitches. Gorgeous, especially those rosebuds. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wait till you, she just showed, watch this past yesterday's, she takes this tree, which she paints on there, and then she makes it come alive. She adds stitching, then does more. Look at this, and look at the colors of the thread she uses. And before you know it, you've got a beautiful snow-covered pine. That's beautiful. Now, let me see. Yep, that was the last one. I thought I had a new one, but Maybe not. All right. I hope I didn't miss anything. Okay, Miss Charlene is also doing the Alex Anderson hand embroidery your way. Beautiful, beautiful. Then, oh, her grand dogs, I forgot about those. Now, I put another picture in here, and I'm not seeing it, but I'm going to make sure I try to find it. But let me get this the right way. The beautiful, and I know, I forgot which block of the month this is, but I know Miss Jody's also working on this. Beautiful. Now, where is that other? Ah, here it is. Okay, it's here. I was going to get upset if I couldn't find it. Isn't that beautiful? She put the prairie points on the outer border. That is lovely. So if you find a good sew along or a block of the month or something, feel free to share it with us because we do love it. And I just wanted to show again Miss Jamie's very first quilt where she ran the sewing machine herself. She used kitties because she did it for her grandma. I love that. Thank you, Miss Jamie. All right, now let's see where we are next. Miss Debbie Holt. I have some good stuff for Miss Debbie. Look at this beautiful, I call them Baltimore album or applique. Just beautiful, just beautiful. Good work. Look at this happy, cute thing. A red work quilt. And you know, the thread doesn't have to be red. Red work just came because they discovered turkey red dye. It was so inexpensive, they could dye things, lots of flosses and threads. And so everybody started making these, and then the name stuck. Oh, look at those beautiful stars. I love it. Look at this. Monkey wrench. I know there's another name for it. I love it. I love her two-color quilt. Beautiful. Oh, I love the way she quilted this with a checkerboard design, but it looks like she didn't go over top the applique. Beautiful. And this is her Christmas block of the week that has been quilted with wonderful circles or bubbles, whatever you want to call them. It's so cute. So thank you so much, Debbie, for that. All right. Now, we're so excited because Miss Diana sent me an email with her latest work, and we love it. She's too busy to come spend time with us right now, but we understand. We want to see her work too, though. And so I'm so tickled that she sent these photos. She does such beautiful work. Look at this. Fresh off the frame. Her quilting is second to none. I love the way she's got this quilt displayed over here. That's really pretty. Beautiful. Oh, look at the quilting in this. Isn't that something? Very talented lady. Very talented. Just beautiful. I love this random, it's almost like crack-a-lure. You know, if you've ever seen cracks in old paints and finishes, that's beautiful. I hadn't thought of that. Oh, look at the back of this quilt. Pretty amazing. Way to go, Miss Diana. Oh my gosh, look at that. Thank you for showing us. Share. Keep sharing, Miss Diana, because we love seeing your work. Okay, Miss Dolores, who I saw her not long ago, so I'm hoping she's getting better and can join us soon. But look at this wonderful chameleon she did. Then she's working. Let me see if I can turn this a different way. I want you to see this. it was laying down flat, but it's an eagle that she's doing in a class. She's taking an online class. Don't we love online classes? And since she's in a wheelchair for probably at least another month, her husband set up their living room so she could still create. What a good man. That is wonderful. Keep getting better, Miss Dolores. We can't wait to have you back with us. All right. Miss Jody sent me a few good pictures. Look at this, in the works. I love it. Then she lost her power because this tree came down. They had a snowstorm go through in Ohio, and look at this. So that will definitely take out your power. So luckily they had a backup generator, so she wasn't totally in the dark, but you can't do everything you normally want to do. So this is that piece of work in progress. This is her Alex Anderson. Beautiful. Can't wait to see that. There it is in underway. And then there is hers with the border put on. Isn't that wonderful? So you're seeing the same pattern in two different colorways. Makes them look entirely different. I love it. Beautiful. Thanks, Miss Jody. Thanks for sending some more photos in. Kathy Boyd. Oh, this will be saying goodbye to this wonderful one this week. I love that cloth rug. And Batik's wonderful. All right, who do we have now? We have Miss Mary. She sent us some good stuff, people. All right. I didn't realize this, but we had seen this before, but then she went back and put flowers on the inner border of this wonderful quilt. Isn't that fantastic? Let me see if I can bring it up just a little bit more to show you those flowers. Let me see. Oh, isn't that fascinating? I never thought of something like that. I think it's because I'm so happy just to have something finished. That's enough for me. That was her first time paper piecing. Great job on the Christmas block of the week. And her beautiful, the scene out her back door. Oh, yeah, see, this is the quilt before she put the flowers along here. And then let me go back real quick and show you with the flowers. Look at the difference. It really makes it pop. So way to go, Miss Mary. Brilliant. Okay. And this is her 190, she thinks, block farm. What was it called? The farmer's wife quilt. Oh my goodness. That is a true heirloom. All right, now Miss Marcia has, I'm so curious to see what she's going to do with this tartan plaid. And it's got the thistle, which is the national flower of Scotland. So that's pretty cool. Then look at her. Oh, no, wait a minute. That looks like one of mine. Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Here's some snow. Whoops. Okay, let me try that again. All right, Miss Melanie. Oh, she sent us two new ones. Look at these. These are just her little quilts or little pieces of joy. Isn't that sweet? And look at the butterflies. And it's nice to have that. You can just hang them up anywhere in your house. Those are sweet. Thank you, Miss Melanie. All right. Then Miss Patricia Fry. Oh, yes. Show you one more time. Believe it or not, it was a cold day somewhere because they had snow in Myrtle Beach, which doesn't often get snow. That's cute. All right. And then she said as soon as the sun came out, it melted, which that's what it does. Miss Polly has been doing some great. She's taking an online class from a woman in England, and look how pretty. So she is having a great time in this class and learning a lot. So let's see, got another view. I love what she's doing, using bits of paper from old cards and things. I mean, that is just wonderful. I love it. One more view. Isn't that wonderful? Beading, all of that. I just love it. I love the sheet music behind that looks like it was painted with watercolor. So, I'm loving this whole new hobby or the art craft of embellishing. It's so exciting. And I remember last year, that was the thing that I wanted to do this year, was to learn to embellish. And it has been a fun journey. Let me turn back on this light and come back to y'all. Any questions that you have from anything you've seen? But aren't they wonderful? Aren't they wonderful? So the robin's eggs were cute. So Miss Polly is just blossoming, let me tell you. All of y'all are thriving, and I couldn't be more happy. Oh, hold on. I know where that light is coming from. I had a mirror over there, and it was bringing some sunlight in from the bottom of the window, and I don't like looking like I have a bullseye on my forehead. So I will do some more work on this cute little heart, and this should be fast, easy, just something fun. I'll make sure to find that other strip, and I'm going to take it upstairs, sit in my recliner, and work on it. Because with the Steam-A-Seam too, it has some stickiness, and that way it'll hold until you've got it just the way you want, and then you can iron it, and it's permanent. All right, I see Susan Carol. Oh, I thought it was just Saturday. So, thank you though for remembering to ask. Any of you, if you're teaching something, if you've got something on YouTube, please share it with us. We love promoting your work because you know what? It's always good news, and good news is what we need nowadays. Please take such good care. So, right now, just Saturday. Okay. Oh, yeah, because we'll have to ask Susan, what did Susan, did you have any plans about Jitsies? Because it's fun to get together and just chat. Well, everyone, you're so wonderful. You are very welcome. If I can inspire you, and we have a lot of talented members, and if I can inspire you, then that's what I like to do, because now more than ever, creating is the icing on the cake. We work hard, and we want to play hard too. So, that's a good idea. We don't want to miss Miss Carol. Saturday morning, 9 to 11 Eastern time, depending on how long she needs to create. And, oh gosh, her work is amazing. And she takes you step by step. I wondered how she did the snow. Now I know. So if you want to know how did she put snow on her hand embroidery, go look at Saturday's show under the magical touch. Take care, everybody. Do something good just for you. Read a good book. Make a recipe that you have been wanting for a long time. Do something just for you. Take good care. I'll see y'all Thursday night for some of you for our snowy landscape. And I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. You're the best. Bye-bye.